also known as Conservative News and Views. If it's your first time tuning into the broadcast, do me a favor, go ahead on and hit that like button, hit that notification bell, the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell all the way up top. Also, please participate in the $5 challenge. As well, do me another huge favor and donate to the $5 challenge. Participate in that with my wife's ailments. Y'all know she's got MS. She's got the sick. She's got arthritis. She's got a several things going on. Also, follow me on all of my channels. So, with that being said, let's get into it. So, first of all, I told y'all when I got to 4,000 subscribers on YouTube that I was gonna do a bio about myself. I think that it's important that every YouTuber does this because it kind of gives you an idea of the type of person you're dealing with. Because you got some YouTubers, some people that are bloggers out there ain't real, right? They get on the camera, they portray something, and when the camera's off, they're totally something different. Well, I'm not one of those dudes. Never have been, never will. Who I am on camera is who I am in person. I'm outspoken, I'm direct, I'm fearless. I mean, that's just what I've always been. So, a lot of people who listen to my commentary would think that I was born and raised in a conservative environment, but that's not the case. That's why I'm about to give y'all a glimpse of my childhood. I think that it's good to put this energy out there so people can understand how I went from being the guy who literally came from nothing to becoming the man with the thought process I have today. So I'm going to jump right into it. So I was born on March the 31st, 1984. My parents were very young when they had me. My dad was a hustler. My mother was a young lady that was going to college, but at the same time, she had a lot of things going on. Uh, Being at 23 years of age, she was hanging out with my dad, living a double life, trying to, you know, she was portraying a double life. She was a minister at the time. Um, at church, she's being the minister, but when she's off from church, she was hanging out, being around unsavory people like my dad and others that were not Christian like. So this went on for a time until she had to make a decision. Now, the decision she made is to leave me with my grandmother and my great grandmother and my great grandfather to help out raise me. Now, living in that home, my great grandmother was born in 1931. She was born in a time where uh, she'd been through the whole black and white could not mingle together, right? She's been through the whole civil rights movement. Now, my great grandmother, I'm not gonna lie to you, was very democratic. I mean, that's just what she was, very liberal. And I was raised in a liberal household. Being raised in a liberal household, we were poor. We didn't have a lot. Um, we were product of living off the system, the food stamps, uh, the WIC program for my younger brothers and sisters that come up later. You know, the whole getting assistance with electricity when it's overly hot. Because when you from South Carolina, and by the way, I was born in Darlington County, South Carolina. Sorry, I didn't forget to tell y'all that. And I lived in uh, Hartsville, South Carolina. It's real rough, a real rough environment. So, growing up, my great grandmother loved to go to church. That was the thing. We went to church every Wednesday and every Sunday. Sometimes we would go to church on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. You had Bible study, then you had prayer worship on Friday nights, and then you had regular service. So, being a church kid, I used to get so sick of church. That's why I don't go to churches now. I went to church a lot as a kid. It is. It's, man. When we talking about going to church, you go to church. Now, my great grandmother was very wise. She gave me a lot of wisdom. When I think about that wisdom now, it sounds so conservative. She always would tell me that you control your own destiny. You have to have accountability. You can't let people tell you what you can't and cannot do. Have your own. Do for yourself. Oh, KKT. Oh, yeah, exactly. Same way. So, growing up, I did have a traumatic experience that kind of gave me a setback. I had a family member who violated me when I was like 5 years old, a step family member. It really messed me up. I, you know, I had to go through counseling. It was kind of swept under the rug. Because back then, black people didn't believe in all of that going after a family member and reporting like they do now. You know what I'm saying? That stuff back then was considered to be a no-no. You don't do that. You keep it in the family and you don't say nothing about it. But no, I'm good. I mean, I'm past it. I mean, I was young. When you go through life, you be strength for because this was supposed to be someone that was supposed to be I trusted. Now this person is in jail now for doing the same thing because he violated a uh, woman in a wheelchair, and ever since then he's violated other people. So he's in jail for the rest of his life. He's never getting out. Uh, so I went through that traumatic experience, and being growing up with my great grandmother was a challenge because we didn't have a lot of money. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. My great grandmother used to survive off taking care of us with 500 and yeah, me too. $585 a month. I want y'all to think about that. $585 a month, and you're raising yourself and your child, your great grandchild, your great grandchild, and you got your my great grandfather was now no longer in the picture. He done went home to Jesus. So that's a lot. That's a lot to deal with, right? That's a lot for a person. And she made it work. I mean, she made sure that I had clothes on my back. She made sure I always had the stuff I need. She made sure we always had food in the house. The lights were never cut off. Yeah, that's super hard. She made sure we got to all the doctor's appointments I needed to go. She made sure she had an adequate car running. But back then, I'll think about that now, $550. That's equivalent to about $1,400. No, I would say 14, maybe $1,200 today. That's equivalent to $1,200 a day. And I lived out in the country. All right. We talking about there's no nothing but woods out there, dirt roads. I had pump well water, and when the pump would go bad, I would have to go to a neighbor's house and get the water to flush my toilets and stuff like that. This is how we were living. My great grandma had no central air in her house. None. She was old school. When we had those 90 and 100-degree days, we had to lift up the windows and run a fan. I didn't. I had to talk my great grandma getting in the AC until like when I turned 14 years old. I had to sit her down one day and was like, "Yo, girl, I cannot go through another summer. You know, I need I need some AC in here." And she only got one. She wouldn't get more than two. She was always scared about that electric bill. Baby, I get one, put in the front room. So, we got our first AC. That made a world of a difference. And yeah, man, it was super hard growing up that way, you know. But she made sure I had the nicest clothes. She made sure I looked good for school. The only problem I had in school, because my great grandmother was very old school, was that my clothes had that mothball scent and that kerosene heater scent because she believed in kerosene heaters in the summer, in the wintertime. And when you got a kerosene heater and you don't, clean them out effectively, that kerosene smell getting your clothes, it is horrible to get out. Thanks for the signal, like asshole. I mean, it's horrible to get out. So I had to go to school with this kerosene scent. And kids used to break on my ass when they got close to me. But it's cool, you know? I mean, I made it through. You know what I mean? With the help of my great grandmother and her values, it was just genuine, you know? And she was the type of person, she loved to cook. This woman would cook you a meal every morning, nonstop. When I was going to school, my great grandma would get up every morning at 5:30 to cook you a meal. That was her way of saying, I want you to have a belly full and to go to school every morning. And I mean I'm talking about oatmeal. Sometimes it's grits, eggs, and sausage. Sometimes it's pancakes. Sometimes it's waffles. Like this woman threw down in the kitchen. And when I say waffles, she made her batter from scratch. She didn't do that box shit. She did this shit from scratch, bro. It was crazy. She was the epitome of the old school woman. I mean, that's just how she was. And I miss a lot of that aura from her because she knew how to always let me look at things from a different point of view. She always taught me that character means a lot. I remember the first time when I went to I ever experienced any kind of racial wording was when I was in junior high, my first year in junior high. I mean, I deserve it this time because I was a bully. I really did. I had a lot of anger issues because I wasn't around my parents And you get to that age, you're like, well, why couldn't my parents raise me? Why I'm being raised by my great grandma? Because I didn't understand. I didn't know no better. And I had a tendency of bullying people. And I bullied this white kid. Every day I bullied him. I bullied him. I called him all kinds of fucked up names. Never racial, just fucked up names. And one day I guess he got tired and he called me the N word. I mean, I was offended. I got mad. I beat the brakes off the kid, but I learned a valuable lesson about it. You know, sometimes you can push people to that point that they gonna call you something that's gonna make you really realize that you need to look yourself in the mirror. The second time I experienced it was when I was trying to go to a birthday party, which was in my middle school year, and the dude just told me straight up, "Yo, man, no offense, but we don't like ninjas in our party." That's just basically what he said. I like, okay, all right, fine then. I was disrespectful and I said some messed up stuff back. I told my great grandmother what I said, and she sat me down and she said, "Son, don't never do that no more. Don't never stoop yourself to that level. Just because somebody else is racist, you don't have to be racist. I didn't teach you that. Don't be like that. You stand up on your own 2 feet and be better than that. Rise above that." And that's exactly what I did. I would walk my head up high and laugh at it. Uh, Growing up in a liberal household was unique because my great grandmother always felt like that the democratic way of life was the right way. I mean, in her mind, she felt like if you get in a jam, you're supposed to go to the government for assistance all the time. You know, I'm talking about standing in line, getting free food. Which y'all don't know about this, especially in the South back then. If you would go to some of these gymnasiums, schools, or churches, they would be assigned in the community to pass out. What's up, Nacho Mama? To pass out uh, commodities. You know what I'm saying? So those commodities are basically your government peanut butter, your government cheese, uh, your government box milk, all that stuff to actually use because a lot of people couldn't afford buying things at the store. So that's what the government would do. So you get in line and you get that. You got a number, you get a box of this stuff, government macaroni, all that. And then you just try to make it work. Government rice. Now, I will tell y'all now that government cheese was hard as shit. You want to see some cheese hard to melt? Get you some damn government cheese. You got to put that bitch on 425 degrees Fahrenheit to melt on your toast. And by the time it do melt on your toast is so hard you can't enjoy that shit. You be like, what the fuck am I eating? But hey, how it was, man. You know, that was the that was the that was the move back then. That was how things got done. Now not so much, right? I mean, now you don't hear about those things too much, and if you do, nobody's not gonna really complain about that. I mean, who would? Because now the government got it where it's okay to go out here and get free stuff. So, like I said, my childhood was very interesting. I don't have no complaints, no disregards or anything like that about it. You know, it just made me a better person all the way around. Take this parking spot right here. Made me a better person all the way around. So I wanted to give y'all an insight of my childhood because I told y'all when I got the 4,000 subscribers on YouTube, I was going to talk about it, break it down. Now, the second part of that series, I'm going to talk about how my high school to me going into the military was. Going to talk about the military life, how I still was in that mindset that everything was racial. Because, again, it took a process for me to get to the red pill. So, for y'all to get to know why I took the red pill, got to look at where I came from and how I began to progress into the red pill. So it's probably going to be a 3 or 4 part series. I'm going to try to make it as genuine as possible. So this is part one. If you like it, please share this video, like this video, talk about it in the comment section what you think. You know, be respectful because y'all know how I am. You say some dumb shit, I'm canceling that ass. And I hope y'all have a great day. And I'll give y'all part two very soon. Oh, before I go, remember Jericho Green tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern time. That's right, 10 o'clock Eastern time. If you're on the West Coast time, 7 p.m. I need you to be there. This is going to be an epic event. We are going to stream it straight live on YouTube. So that way we can get everybody in the building to talk to my man's Jericho Green, the man, the myth, the legend. Love you guys. Take care of yourself and each other. I'm out.